What's up, everybody? Welcome to Banditfox Studios. My name is Jeremy Abrams. Today, we're going to be chatting with a good buddy of mine, David Wilkerson. David is an independent musician in a band called Infina, as well as a music business coach and now author. We sat down to talk about music business, what he's currently doing for independent artists, as well as some music production stuff. This isn't just your typical tips and tricks video. We had a great discussion talking about mindset and strategy, and things that you need to keep in mind as an independent artist trying to market your music to the world. With that, let's get into the video. Hope you enjoy the conversation. I'd love to hear definitely what you're getting into now, but if you want to give everybody a little bit of background on, I know you did some like game sound design stuff. You've got Infina. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
I'm gonna try not to make the extensive list. We'll go with the simple one. I did sound design for 2 years for video games. Also, while I was there, I was doing voiceover directing, and I got a chance to meet some really cool people. The guy that does Toucan Sam's voice, his name's why am I? Anyways, the guy that does Toucan Sam's voice now, not the old one, but the one who does it now, he charges. Oh God, he's so good though. I don't know if you play League of Legends, but the guy that does the voice, his name's Eric Ra. He does the voice of one of the characters in League of Legends that I heard all the time. I think it's Jax.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
I'd been hearing his voice for years and didn't even know it was him, and he hopped in the call. I had to do this thing where like you would get so starstruck being in that position that I had to stop looking people up. Yeah, I had to stop looking people up before I had to get on, because I found myself like, I can't coach him and tell him what to do because he's clearly a pro. Like, what do I know? He just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stopped
100%.
looking it up just so I could be brutally honest and tell people. And yeah, it's tough, but I enjoyed those days. I also did programming in that time, which leads me into what I'm doing now, because I realized there was a correlation that when I was doing programming, I was always building systems, and that's all business is. It's a set of systems, and I see patterns in systems. And so now I'm just, other than Infina and Demo Nation, I'm coaching musicians on how to build systems around stuff so that things are easier, so that they're not wasting so much time, so they're making more money, so they can figure out where they're going and not focus on the wrong things. That's where I'm at. I just wrote a book. That's where we'll lead into. I just wrote a book.
Perfect.
Feast or Famine. It's 105 pages. It didn't start out that way, but it ended that way. I just wanted to do like a 30-page book, but it's about how we can approach our music business from the standpoint of a restaurant. Like my mission has been to make the music industry reliable, viable, and respectable. And if you told somebody you're opening a restaurant, which is one of the hardest businesses to open in the world, people would like scoff at you, or not. They wouldn't scoff at you. They would praise you for taking that venture on. Versus being a musician, a lot of the times people are like, "Oh, when are you going to get a real job?" you know. So I wanted to bridge that gap, and so when I started writing the book, I was starting from that position, and then it turned into 105 pages of me exploring ideas of how you can monetize your music the way that you would a restaurant.
Oh man!
And so it's been really cool. And it's awesome. It's only $5 on Amazon, $3 if you buy it on my website, or free if you want a link. Just DM me.
There you go. All right. That's awesome. Congrats on the release, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's super sick. Oh yeah, what's the name of the book?
Oh, sorry. Did I not name the book?
I think you might have, but
things.
If you did, our chatters aren't listening. But
yeah, that's right. No, you weren't listening. That's what it was. Nah. It's called Musicians Feast or Famine Playbook. It's a playbook. I made sure I added playbook at the end, and I was like, I need to go back and make sure there's plays, because I didn't want it to be strategy. I wanted people to read it and be able to do something about it, and not just read it. Because I do that all the time, where I just read books and yeah.
You take in the information. It's like, okay, that's cool, and then that's it. I've been there,
and that's it. Well, that's what we do on social media all the time, right? It's like scroll. Oh, that was really cool. And scroll. Oh, okay. Well, like 30-second pieces of information.
Mm-hmm.
that you never do anything with. They're in your head and they're confusing you because they're conflicting things that people are saying.
Yeah. It's
And if
funny
you don't
how
take action,
yeah, it's funny you mentioned like running your music business like a restaurant, because now I'm thinking like the amount of recipes and stuff I see on social
Mhm.
media, be like, oh, that looks really good, and it's the same thing. It's like I like it, I'm never gonna make it, I'm never gonna see that
Yeah.
again, but like, oh, that looks
Hmm.
good. Um, but yeah, no, that's cool. Some plays to be able to turn that stuff into actual action. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
sounds awesome.
there's 13 or 14 plays in it. I don't remember. And yeah, so the point of the book is to fix a problem. My mentor, okay, what's a better way to put this? There's this idea that if you're coaching or consulting, or if you are managing or anything like that, you need to have, number one, a big group of people. Number two, a big problem that big group of people need to have solved. And number three, the people that have that problem need to want to pay to have that problem solved. And so my mentor had told me, "Are you sure you want to do this for musicians? Because they don't have the willingness to spend the money to get it solved." And I'm like, "You're right." And so I've been trying to find a way to make money um, without having to charge musicians at the lower level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this book was a solution to that, number one, but it also sets you up for realizing why things aren't working for you and why you should invest in yourself and why you can't do it all alone, and that you need systems and frameworks in place, and to treat it like a business, not in the sense that you strip the fun away from it, but in a sense that it allows you to be more creative. And
Yeah,
so I'm trying to deal with uh, those issues all in one book, and so it's been fun. I'm
yeah.
not going to solve it with one book, but I could try. I could hope.
Hey, any little bit helps, right? Yeah,
It's
100%.
it's better than running away from the problem, and because I think that's the issue, is
Yeah.
nobody's here to help musicians because there's much more money elsewhere. And so in the business world, you can make $100,000 doing what I'm doing for musicians per client per month. I'm not even shitting you. Like, I know people that are doing that. And it's easy to just say, "Oh, well, I'm going to go do that," and then this group of people never gets help because of that. So um, it's so hard to not make the switch and just go do something else, because my skills apply there too. But I'm passionate about it, and that's even when the rent's due, I still want to keep going. So
Yeah. Hey, I feel that.
that's probably
um,
why you do mixing as well, right? Like, it's not like you're making a ton of money off of mixing, but it's just enough that gives you that yeah, I could do this every day
oh,
and be okay with
100%.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's something I love doing. It's yeah, something I'm definitely passionate about. You get to like make music, and then that's out there. Like stuff that I've worked on is
Mm.
out there. Other people can listen to it. That's like one of the coolest things. It's the same thing, honestly, like with like this streaming thing. Like I'm not making a ton of money by any means. Like you got a couple subs, pretty cool. Appreciate all them for hanging out, but like it's really
Yeah,
fun.
appreciate you.
Like I've been
More
having a
subs,
great
please.
time.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh man.
um, I think that's a really important factor, especially for I think for the willingness for somebody to
Yeah.
invest in themselves, to want to get better in in whatever area that is, but specifically for music, I think you do really need to be passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta really care about what you're making.
Yeah, and it's a good, having people pay for things is a good way to get rid of the people that aren't wanting to do something, actually do something, it qualifies them in a way. The Yeah, I don't know. I have free programs too if anybody's interested. We do like a weekly call once a week to try to help on the mindset side of things. But you really do have to be passionate about things to do them. It's the only thing that gets you through that valley. I talk about this a lot, where intention is always followed by disruption. I don't want to coin that. That's a Myron Golden thing, but you see that in story circles and movies all the time, right? Every time somebody is they get the call to adventure, and then they refuse the call, and then somebody convinces them, and then they decide to go chase the rabbit or whatever, in Alice in Wonderland, for instance. Then you cross that threshold and you enter all these trials, and the trials are the valleys. Those are the points where I think like you have to be absolutely passionate and know the why of what you're doing enough so that you're willing to get through that without having to willpower your way through it. Um, it's so much easier when you have a purpose to get through it than it is to try to blindly just discipline your way through those trials, because they're going to be tough, and people will look at you like you're crazy for taking the chance and continuing to trust in the process even when it's failing for you. But yeah, if you just be passionate, absolutely passionate about it, it'll get you through that. And I had a really long talk about that today, multiple times now. This is like the fifth time I've talked about it.
Well, hey, it must be important if it keeps coming up, right?
Yeah. It's life though. I look back at all the things that I've done, and there were 2 points of failure. One was always giving up in that trial moment in the story and starting back over at comfort zone. If you look at the Dan Harmon story circle, that's a lot to get into. The other failure point is not accepting the call at all. Like, people don't want to leave their comfort zone, and so they sit on their couch, or they stay at their 9-to-5 job and never take that risk to go and do what they were made to do, to bring the value to the world that they were made to bring value to. It's scary. You know this because we've talked about it. Like, it's scary to give up your health insurance and your job and say, I'm just going to do this full time. And I don't recommend it to everybody because it is scary and you have to have a lot of faith through it to get through it. But for me, it's the most exhilarating, purposeful thing that I could possibly do. It's like the 4th or 5th business that I've started. So
Nice. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think, yeah, no, you got a great thing. I think that really is like the important thing. Cause you mentioned like people that are really passionate about it, and, charging for courses and stuff is a way to qualify them for, okay, this person is actually willing to spend some money on this. They're really willing to put in the work, versus somebody that maybe is also equally as passionate and doesn't do anything. And they just, here's my link. Here's the link to my song. Listen to it if you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm guilty of it. That's all I've done for the past like month or so, as for my music at least. But
yeah, you've got a lot going on. No, I don't know. Well, first off, I want to say that like, I try not to just do courses. It's a group event sort of thing. There are courses because I only have so much time, but we get together 2 or 3 times a week and talk about things. But those courses are a way for me to qualify too. Like, how many of these people do I want to spend who am I going to pick up the phone and call? Like, Master of Mischief, he's a great client, and I'll call him any day of the week because he's doing the work and I see it, and I don't mind picking up the phone and calling him. Fireside Shadows, another one of those, and she's killing it right now. And I'm like, I'll call her any day and talk things through. I'll call you any day because I see what you're doing and I respect it, and there's value in it. But then there's other people that they paid to be there and they're still not doing the work, and it's clear that they're not ever going to do the work, and so it doesn't motivate me to pick up the phone and give them free one-on-one time to, it's tough. It's tough, but I think it really all comes down to perspective and what your goal is. I think if you want to make music for fun, that's admirable. I don't down anybody for that. And I don't expect you to want to go at it at the level that I go at it, or anybody else. But if you really want to make something of it, it does take time and energy and learning, and you have to put your feet in the fire in order to get there. Otherwise, you won't have a good VH1 story.
Yeah, true. Oh, that's a great point.
I talked about that one earlier today too. I tell you, I've been on the phone and on podcasts for like, actually including the podcast, probably 5 hours talking today. So
Wow.
plus the hour this morning, so 6 hours of just talking today. So a lot of things have came up a lot of times.
Hmm.
So don't mind me if I'm just going because I'm on
Nope.
autopilot now.
Hey, it's all good. We're here to talk and learn and absorb this information and hopefully apply it as we discussed.
Yeah. Oh
That's
man.
the important part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, application is it's the hardest part. It's the hardest part because then you have to like hold yourself accountable for the things, and that's tough. I know so many things that I'm not even applying, so I don't expect anybody else to be. You know, I'm supposed to be DMing 50 people a day in order to hit my goals, and I don't DM 50 people a day. So yes, I don't expect you to DM, but I will push. Like setting the goal is it's half the battle, right? Like you set the goal not necessarily to hit the goal, but to have a bigger aim so that you can figure out what you're capable of. Like there's this book 10x is better than 2x. There's a couple of other concepts behind this too, but it's this idea of like if you take whatever goal that you think is reasonable and then you 10x it, you can't reasonably go after that goal doing the same things that you were doing before. So it forces your brain to figure out optimized ways to get to that. So like for me, for instance, if I wanted to, I don't know, so let's say I wanted to make $180,000 in 90 days, right? I couldn't just keep DMing 50 people a day and getting on sales calls and trying to find people that want to be helped and having 45-minute calls with them for $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I would never get to 180,000 that way. So then you have to. It forces your brain to figure out a new pathway. Okay, well maybe I need a big friend that has a lot of followers that I can connect with, that can ally with me in my cause, and now I can reach more people faster and these sorts of things that you just don't think about because you're stuck thinking small, I guess is the best way to put it. And so once you do that, maybe you don't hit that 180,000, but you definitely hit something far greater than what you thought you were capable of. And that's it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think that is really important is setting um like measurable goals for
Yeah.
that exact reason. Even if you don't hit it exactly, maybe you got like halfway there, and that's
Yeah.
still something to celebrate. And then you at least know kind of where you're at, where to shoot for, next time you go to set a goal. Um
Yeah. Yeah. That and like, well, I don't know, 30 podcasts in 30 days seems unreasonable to me. Like I started with, oh, let me see if I get on 3. Well, why am I saying 3? Let's say 30. Let's just get on 30 in the next month. Um, and then your reticular activating system, your RAS, the same thing that causes you to notice when you get a new car and you notice that car everywhere. That same thing goes into play for you and you start to see patterns and pathways forward. And then you start to ask questions or make posts about like I went everywhere and just said, hey, I'm trying to get 30 in 30 days. Anybody can help me out? Can anybody help me out? I would DM certain people that I knew to see if they could help me out. I would have never done that if I was just going for 3, you know. And so if I don't hit 30, I'm cool with that because I think I'm at 15 now. Not I haven't done 15 yet, but I'm at 15 booked. So I just need another 15 more. But I would have had 3 if I would have just stayed with my normal goals. I would have had 3.
yeah. No, 100%. Now you're at 15 booked and we're
I'm at
6
15.
days into October.
Yeah.
So yeah, imagine if you were shooting for 3, you would have spent your whole month. You got 3, and meanwhile
Just
you spent 6 days
lollygagging
and
around.
you
Yeah.
have 15. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a really good
And
point. I need to. I'm writing these down for myself. These are good to know. I hope chat's
this is,
paying
I mean, this
attention.
is all stuff that I've learned. Like I had to invest in myself. I sold my guitars. don't kill me. I sold my guitars for to get $5,000 to pay to be in a program where somebody would teach me the things that I was lacking, to the mindsets that I needed to get to that point. I really needed to be around people who had done it. Um, and it's easy. Like my family would look at that and say that it's a scam. Like, oh, you're getting scammed. That's how they viewed it. But when you think about how much you spend on like college, man, I've got $120,000 worth of debt, and she never once said that was a scam. I've learned more from this group in 3 months, 4 months now, than I ever learned in college. That's been more impactful than anything I've ever learned in college. Not that I didn't learn anything in college, but it's just not quite as impactful. And it only cost me $5,000. Um, and their goal is to get me to a certain point so I can afford the next thing that they have. And I can't afford that unless I'm winning. And so they want me to win. And to have people in your corner like that is major. So um, I worry about how many opportunities are being missed because there's so many scammers out there trying to be the fox, the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. I don't want to say fox because that's your thing.
Yeah, don't you dare talk down on the fox. No,
The
I'm
wolf in
kidding.
sheep's clothing, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the term I was looking for. So yeah, music is the worst for it. There's so many scammers, and
Way too
standing up
many.
against that is it's difficult. Yeah, that's why I started. Initially, I started this thinking I just want to be a manager for people on the side, and um, I'd gotten screwed over by a manager twice. One was a booking manager, and the other one was an actual manager, and both of them were actually, it was $500 a month for both of them. One of them, his grandma died the first month in, and he just disappeared, and so that was scam number one. And scam number two was, hey, you just paid me $500. I'm gonna send you this PDF, fill this stuff out, send it to me, and we'll get to work. And then nothing. And then I paid him for another month because I thought, well, okay, maybe he's just planning some stuff. And I called him and called him, and he answered the phone, but it wasn't really great conversations. And so then I thought, well, if I was willing to pay $500 a month for a manager back then, what if they actually came through for me? What if they actually did the things they said they were going to do? Why don't I just be that person that you pay, you know? But then I found out that $500 a month is not reasonable to scale, because well, I mean, obviously my rent alone is $1,800, so that I would have to take on way too many clients than I could afford to take on time wise and give them full attention. So so I've had to find new ways to offer things at a lower value for people to get in and get the help they need um, without taking up so much of my time, so I can help more people at once, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's been my journey, all because of scammers. So thank you, scam.
Yeah, right. Showing us how we can do better. Hey everybody, sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to remind you that this conversation was actually live streamed over on my Twitch channel. Be sure to follow along over there for more music conversations, some gaming content, as well as some more detailed music production walkthroughs. All right, back to the conversation.
I've heard that a couple of times, and I just, from inside out, I know I can be, because I'm in such a push to try to get to where I'm going. I know I could be, I wouldn't say pushy, but I advertise a lot now. Like I didn't used to, but um, people weren't seeing the stuff, and and I needed to push the stuff so that I could pay the bills. And I had been giving for so long and never asking, right? And so I just started. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to start advertising everything as much as possible, and get over myself, just get over it. And so I've just been going through a phase of getting over it. It's not really about trying to advertise to people as much as it is about me getting over the fact that I'm advertising to people. Does that make sense?
That
Like
no,
not
I
feeling bad about it.
100% know exactly what you mean. I feel like I'm in the same boat, but just I guess at an earlier step in that process. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that's been my whole thing ever since I started releasing music. Like I've never been. I'm. You may not know this because of how much we've interacted in the short time we've known each other, but I'm so introverted. Like I am
I
extremely
would have never guessed.
introverted. And
Yeah.
like all of these things, like promoting my music, like doing the Twitch stream and stuff, is like all like, I mean, it's stuff that I love. I've grown to love doing, but it's all just like kind of practice, for lack of a better term,
Mm.
of just interacting with people generally. But like I was never the guy to post on social media. I had like maybe like 13 pictures on my Instagram, and like half of them were like guitars, before I
Yeah.
started releasing music. And I hated it when I put out my first single, and I was like, I don't like, who cares? My 50 followers are gonna see that I have a single releasing in a month. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm still working through that of just like, it's not
Just
it's
well,
not
I will
cringe
tell
to
you,
post your stuff.
it's not cringe to post your stuff, but at the same time, I will tell you that like I've did it so much that I've driven my algorithmic push to the ground, and now I'm working on getting it back up again. So I'm glad I did it because I've gotten over the fear of just saying it and getting over the haters that always complain and whatever. Like you're not here to support me. I'm just going to block it. You know what I mean? Like the, if you don't want to see my content, then just what I mean. But
Then
it's
don't
killed
see
my
it. Yeah.
algorithm. Yeah. And because of that, like I don't see everybody's stuff as often, and I don't see them seeing my stuff, and they're not, people are busy and not interacting, and so in your head you can get this like, oh, does nobody like me sort of mindset, and I know that's not true. It's a lie that you tell yourself, but um, the doubt's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say things like that, it just like, okay, cool. I didn't piss anybody off.
Yeah.
Because I have been between the t-shirts with Infina and the new single and um the coaching stuff, and it's just I've been trying to get over the fear of promotion and just been going for it, and um not sure who's still seeing it and who's not. And I think it's just an algorithmic thing because I'm not
Mm.
providing value. So I'm back in the mode of like, okay, I'm going to provide value um for 10 posts, and then maybe I'll advertise something on one every 10
Mm.
or every 11 or whatever. Feels like a good ratio. Um, but I needed to get good at, I don't want to say convincing because it's not really what it is. I needed to get good at positioning so that people could understand what it is that I was offering. I have a tendency to word salad on promo videos, and being concise is huge when it comes to promotion, because people need to know what it is that you're talking about and why you're talking about it. And you have to get that in the first 3 seconds and then hold them for the next 10 seconds. So I needed to do a bunch of those to get good at it, because before that I was just rambling with value and telling people things and my thoughts or whatever, and music. So it was new and different for me. So I don't know if that's encouraging for anybody. Just go out and promote your stuff for a little bit, and sure, your algorithm's going to hate you, but you can always get that back by just getting value. But you have to get good at figuring out what are the things that I can say to get people's attention so that they understand that I've got something that they want, that would be helpful to them, that I've got the value for them, or like in your case, letting people know, hey, I can mix your stuff. I'm available, and I'm not gonna screw you over on price, like
Yeah.
because in the mixing world, it's always whoever's in front of mind is the person that gets the job. Usually, there's not a lot of people that
Yeah.
shop mixers,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the indie scene level. People aren't shopping for mixers, um and so trying to figure out how to position yourself as the guy, because everybody's saying, "Oh, let me mix your stuff."
Yeah.
That's the difficult part about it,
It's tough.
Um,
Yeah. That's I think, yeah, you're right. It's like front of mind, and then if you're an indie band or you're just starting out, it's probably either, oh, okay, a buddy of mine said he'd do it for a case of beer, and you maybe get a okay sounding record, or okay, we're gonna put some money into this. Who mixed this other band's record that we like? Okay, it's that guy.
yeah.
Like, so I'm kind of in that same position, in terms of like, I think portfolio is a really important thing there.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I started releasing music on my own in the first place.
The reason that I wanted you to mix the stuff is because I always had the desire to work with somebody on a one-on-one basis in a less professional, like obviously in a professional way, but on a we're coming up together sort of way. You know what I mean? And I think that would be a good way to position yourself because that was what I desired more than anything, and I was willing at the time, not right now because we're kind of strapped for cash, but at the time it was like I was willing to pay $500 to $1,000 per song to get that connection and that certainty that we were working on it together. You know what I mean? That this was a joint project because I'd already paid somebody. I think we paid $4,000 for the first album that we paid him half up front, so it was 2,000, and he was going to mix the first four songs yeah, he started on the first four songs and I didn't like his mixes but there was no communication. And I always hear stories like Sleep Token, for instance. The reason that their mixing engineer from the beginning is where he is now is because they got big and he was willing to really produce for them on the way up, really figure out what their sound was and get them there. And he's not doing it now for them because they've got a different thing. They're going in a different direction and they were understanding of that together. But
Yeah, that's
I think for a lot of people, that's a desire.
Or...
Yeah, Lever, yeah. Great dude.
Oh yeah, and incredible mixes. Oh my gosh, those first couple Sleep Token albums sound so good. He did some old Holding Absent stuff too. It's incredible.
Have you listened to the old albums with the new stuff? I feel like Lever's mixes were they were dark in comparison. The new ones they're clear and bright. They're they feel more polished because they're clear and bright, but I kind of like the darkness before. It was soft and subtle instead of like
I feel
shiny.
I don't want to say overproduced, but it like does have that like extra like fine polished like major label kind of sound to it. I mean it still sounds the new record even it still sounded really good. But the especially the drum mix on like Sundowning. Oh my god. Those drums are incredible.
I would kill for that drum mix. I
absolutely incredible. I've been meaning to pick up the Mixwave plugin for the drum kit.
Is it on Mixwave for that drum kit?
They got the 2 drum kit on Mixwave.
For
MIDI drums.
Let me see if Superior Drummer has one for 2, because that would be cool. Superior Drummer 3 or 4, right? We're at 4 now. Sleep Token.
The last one I had was 2, I think.
There is
pretty much everything I do now is Counter Kit, which is the drummer from Counterparts.
Yeah,
that drum library is so sick. I talk about it every time I do a music stream. Every time I've done like a mix breakdown or anything, it's had those drums in it. All of my songs, Weather with 4-Story Fall, I did a breakdown on that. Yeah, just Counter Kit all over the place.
I should just let you do sample replacement on our next one with that drum kit. I want to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, if you got like a kit MIDI, send it over. I could do a bounce.
Do I have a kit? I do have a kit MIDI, but I would have to label all the notes because I set up Superior Drummer really weird, and I don't know if it'll transfer well. But
okay,
yeah, because I actually
have like a translation between Superior Drummer, but if you have custom mapping, then
because I actually decided like in order to get the naturalist feel possible, because clicking and dragging and programming I could do all day, but it always feels kind of forced, like the same patterns emerge. I wanted to play it on keyboard, simple parts at a time, like kick, snare, and then hi-hat and cymbals, just so that I had a feel for it instead of a brain for it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think about it. I wanted to feel what it was supposed to do, and then I would go back through and add toms in and take out snares, but I would still program the toms, because then you get a little bit of the velocity information too, and you don't have to go back and reprogram it.
100%. Yeah, I think I talked about that in when I did the weather breakdown. I recorded it on that e kit right back there,
Mm.
which is
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite music investments I've ever made because drums are so much fun, even though I'm still learning them. But also just for programming MIDI drums to be able to get that like more human feel, get the velocity information. Maybe some stuff isn't totally on the grid, but it still sounds cool. And you can kind of just leave
yeah.
it, like stuff like that. Um, oh yeah, it's a game changer. I love it.
That's exactly like I've tried to go back through and take things off grid in a natural way, and it never felt good. But um, man, your brain does things with like triplets and placement in a way that like you can swing something and not realize that you were doing it. And
Yep.
and so when you go back and look at the tracks, like I don't quantize right away. Maybe on the kick I will,
Mm.
but on toms and snare, like I'll take it sections at a time and quantize just to make sure there weren't like parts that I thought that sounded
You
really
thought it
good
was
off grid.
straight, but it's actually a triplet or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
uh I was doing a couple weeks ago actually for the first time I tried just writing a riff live on stream. Um
Hmm,
and it was a lot of fun. I wrote a pretty cool riff that I'm actually working on finishing now. But what I didn't realize, like as I was tracking it, I was like, all right, this is the riff. It sounds cool. I got like a couple bars into tracking it. I was like, this riff's in five. Like, what am I tracking to? My metronome was off for like the whole project. But it's like
oh
those
man.
those little things. Like, oh yeah, no, it's like those are the moments I think where vibe is more important than whatever's happening technically.
Yeah,
Like it sounds
yeah. I
cool. It is cool.
we had a drummer for our first band. He's so funky, right? And live we killed it. Like it felt so good. But every time we went to the studio, it always felt like something was off. And so we went to Boda Studios in Lake in the Hills, Illinois. It was 2 weeks after they just got through recording the Born of Osiris album there, the Discoveries album. And so when we toured, we got to meet them, and I didn't even know who they were at the time. But um, so we're thinking, man, they're really good at drums, so this is the place to go. If they did Born of Osiris, they understand drums, right? Um, so first thing they did was have our drummer use live cymbals, but everything else was a electric kit, triggers,
Hmm.
and he was not used to that. So that was already throwing him off. But when we got the edits back, it felt even more off. And so Boda Studios ended up not being the ones that edited and um, mixed our stuff. We brought it to somebody else, and they showed me what the original was versus when they quantized it, and I realized then that they had number one quantized cymbals, like live cymbals. They went through and cut and fade out on everything, and of course that
Mm-hmm.
sounds like trash because it just wasn't natural at all. No ring outs, but also the funk vibe that he brought was getting squashed by things having to be perfectly on time. The snare and the kick on the ones and the threes, I understand, but in the middle, like there's, especially when you're doing fast stuff, it feels too mechanical. If you're doing like a quick 16th note triplet or something like that, you
Yeah.
almost have to have that off grid because nobody plays it that
Mm-hmm.
perfect. And when it is
Yeah.
that perfect,
Right.
you can tell. And the only reason you would want to have it on grid is if the guitar was playing the exact same rhythm and you wanted to match those up to give it more oomph.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just a kick, man, just let it be messy.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. It's definitely. I think it's almost like I don't know why my mind's going here, but have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Can't speak.
Uh, for like 2 years straight with 8 people. Yeah,
Perfect.
I was
Yeah,
I
nice.
was I
But
was
like,
psychotic at it. Yeah,
so like the thing that's coming to mind is the rule of cool in D&D, right?
yeah,
Like there's like
hmm
rules. There's a rule
yeah,
book. There's a literal player's manual, player's handbook. There's the dungeon master's handbook, and there are rules as written. But sometimes when you're sitting at the table, some player has this crazy idea, and as a DM, you could be like, you know what? no, that's cool. So we're gonna do that. I feel like that's kind of the
Yeah,
same thing in music. It's like, okay, that doesn't maybe make sense in terms of music theory, or like, oh, maybe that's a little bit off, but it sounds really cool. So let's
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I think that's
There
so
was a
important.
there was a moment where like we were tracking drums and my drummer was like, "Yeah," and it was in a take and it was a joke take. But when I was going through and editing, I edited that portion in on accident because it was a better rhythmic take of that part that he couldn't get right over the next 4 or 5 takes. That yeah was so perfect that I then figured out how I could get the hi-hat mic to turn up so I could get more of that. And then we went back through and layered vocals on top of it. Um, Sometimes you just take what happens and play
Yeah.
with it and instead of trying to for this is why Infina's catchphrase is follow the bunny because that's what we do. The yes ands and the rule of cool is like our thing. If something happens, just play off of it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
try to go back and fix it unless it's just bad. Like there's a difference
Yeah.
between bad and accident.
A hundred
Accidents
percent.
are usually cool.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
I've been saying it, I think in probably every like music related video or stream I've done so far. I always end up saying if it sounds cool, it is cool. And like
Yeah.
that's it, just bottom line. But honestly, like you were saying though, you reminded me. I'm working on a couple singles for this band Spring State. I mixed their first record, so we're working on some new material now. We got the drum recordings back from the recording engineer, and when I did my first mix, I was just kind of just like roughly comping a couple different takes together in certain points. And the first mix I ended up sending over had some like you could hear people talking in the overhead mics,
Yeah.
and it's just like and like really far like, all right, there we go. But the way it lines up with the music, like it's just in the background enough, but it lines up perfectly to just like deliver a huge kick right when the whole band comes in. And it's like that's just
Yeah.
that you couldn't plan that if you wanted to. Like
Yeah.
that's just magic.
Just if you really, Paula, you may know this one, and any maybe Carpal Tunnel as well. But there, our last band at Dial Savannah, there's a song called Party Foul, and we were recording the vocals for it, and my wife had said, "Ew, you're spitting all over the mic," and I said, and they started laughing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just leave this in for a loop later, or we'll use this for a loop later," and joking about it. But it fits so well with the song and the party concept, and because we were all in the room, there's like 5 people in there, we're all laughing. It's like, oh, this is the greatest ending to this song because uh because it was fun and spur of the moment, and that's what I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about punk rock is that those things stay in and are almost like encouraged more so than like polished deathcore. You're
Yeah.
never gonna really hear it in deathcore.
True. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
imagine a
No, that is.
mirror, like
Yeah. Right.
laughing and cutting up after the song. It wouldn't happen. Like, yeah.
No.
I, the moments in like the Corn albums where he's like legitimately freaking out after the song's over.
Yeah.
Uh, that song, hmm, time. What's it called? Let me look it up.
I
Corn
don't know corn that well. I'm
time.
sorry.
That's okay. Counting my time. I think counting my time. Let me see if this shows up. So there's a did my time. That's it.
Mm.
Did my time. On their they did like a live show in the middle of a cornfield and they filmed it and it was beautiful. And so they had this segment of like they're just jamming. You have to watch this because it's like so emotional every time. Like
Mm.
to me it's like the brilliance of music and what you can do. So they're just jamming for like 5 minutes, just playing whatever comes to mind. And then they transition into their song and Jonathan's singing it and you could hear his voice like cracking because he feels it because the lead up to that was just so emotional the way that they were just playing into it you could feel the vibes
Mm-hmm.
change and the emotion changing like it's almost like they stepped into this realm and he's there feeling the emotion of when he originally wrote the song and at the end of the song like he's barely holding it together. He throws his mic down and walks
Mm.
away and just like starts bawling and screaming and crying because like the song was so emotional for him. And a lot of people would be like, no, let's retake that. Let's do that from the top.
Mhm.
But I think that's the moments in music that are beautiful that you just leave in because
Yeah.
they're real and impactful on people because they see you being vulnerable. Shout out to Carpal
Yeah.
Tunnel. They see you being vulnerable in that moment, um, and it allows them to feel what you feel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally feel that. Yeah.
Now everybody's got
It's
to go watch that video. Counting my time is the name of the song. I think it's like an hour or so into their live, but you could just it's all
nice.
in the description on the video.
Oh yeah,
Oof.
definitely gonna have to check that out.
I'm almost in tears for him every single time I watch it. It's so good.
Dude, music is magic. It's
Coins
crazy.
3, yeah. It is. It is. Do you have
Moments
any
like
songs
that
like
that
that
fans
that
crave.
do you have any songs like that that just like were super emotional for you to record?
Um, yeah, yeah. I feel like I honestly like probably some of my first couple were like that, but I think I was maybe like too in my head about it when I was recording the vocals. I don't really know how much of that comes through like on my first EP and
Hmm.
stuff. Um, a little bit. I think you can kind of hear like probably the I guess the angriest I sounded on my first EP is in my song "We'll Never Be the Same." You can kind
Hmm.
of hear it in the second verse. It's like there's a little more going on right there. He's pushing a little harder than he was before in the chorus or whatever. But
Yeah.
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 Sometimes,
The
honestly, sometimes it hits me even more like while I'm recording like instrumentals. Like that's
Hmm.
honestly part of kind of part not I don't want to say part of my process, but almost like a checklist item. Like when I'm writing a new song, I typically do instruments first. Like I'll pretty much get like a full song instrumentally before I start putting lyrics to it. But if I listen through a section that I just like recorded or just played or something, and like I get that feeling, it's like oh
oh, yeah.
this is making me feel like this while it's instrumental. Like what is it gonna be like when it's like done?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's I think that's
And
why I
then you
love
just have
that
to
part of the
hope the lyrics
process.
don't ruin it.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I think that's why I like the mixing process and stuff so much. It's like a raw audio of a song, and honestly, I kind of want to do some um like before and after style like clips of some of the stuff that I've mixed because like I feel like the mix can contribute to that like emotional factor
Mm.
at certain points, but like hearing a raw song versus a mixed song, but in those specific like really emotional moments, like just making them hit that much harder. Um, it's just it's so satisfying. It's so rewarding, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when you sent the first mixes for Kaiju, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is what I'm looking for." Um it's tough to like find people that understand the direction that really can feel what you were feeling when you were doing it. And I think a mixing engineer has to, in a way, be able to tap into that to an extent because you have to know where to turn the volume up and you have to know where the emotion is. And
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, yeah. And I hate that, like, you know, I hate that that in the end, it was my mix because of my dumb self. But definitely, like your mix was far greater, and I should have you like when I'm done with the EP, I want to make a whole release with your mix on it with the changes that I needed to do last minute, on the vocals and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no
Because
problem.
and that's the problem sometimes with deadlines and I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
demo love, right? Like you hear the
Yeah,
song a million times and then you step away from it, and you come back and you're like, oh, I can't release this the way it is. I've got to fix it. And that was one of those moments where I was like, oh, we've got this big event coming up. We're doing the release. I've got a couple of days. All right, let me just get this done. And it started with doing one thing and then turned into another. My wife's cooking, so the fire alarm's going off.
oh,
Is that this? Oh, hold on a second.
You're good. Take your time.
Yeah, that's okay. But man,
All good.
but yeah, no, I do. Speak of that, I do have to go eat dinner.
Yeah,
And you
no,
you probably
absolutely.
want to play some video games. But thanks for having me come talk for an hour. It's been great, and it's good seeing you, but not seeing you, Paula and Carpool and McChicken Marty
Marty
McFly.
McFly. Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of my
Um,
favorite movies. And Ty Driz, if Ty Driz is still here. Back to the Future is amazing. It's a great show,
Heck yeah.
movie.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. You dropped a bunch of super cool knowledge bombs, so I'm excited to see how we
Thank you.
can start applying some of these things. You want to do any last minute little shout outs before we get out
Oh
of
God,
here?
I've got so much. If you want to buy my book, you can buy it for $5 on Amazon. It's called Musician's Feast or Famine. If you are broke and you just need help, I'll just send you the book for free. Just DM me. If you also want to get into the free group and are interested in mindset calls, a lot of people aren't, so that's why I paraphrase it that way. That and access to the other musicians that are there, and talking to that community. We do like a lot of accountability stuff, like weekly check-ins to see what everybody intended to do and whether or not they did it, and just sort of checking in with each other to make sure we're all heading in a direction that we're trying to go. If you're interested in something like that, just DM me, David M. Wilkerson on Instagram, or david@wilkerson.media if you want to email, but I probably miss your email. I get so much spam. Is there anything else? Infina Official. If you just look up Infina on Spotify, you'll find our music. Also, a Dying Ultimatum. Also, the Professor Heretic has my solo rap album. Most people here already know about all that. So, yeah, and Demo Nation will be starting back soon. I'm excited about that. That'll be on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. As soon as Sly gets here, I think next Thursday we'll start back. We're going to be in the semifinals, heading up to somebody winning $1,400, I think. Yeah, 14. Actually, the audience splits that, so it's 700 to the top recruiter or whoever's the best at picking songs for the season, plus the other half goes to the number one musician for the season. Yeah, I think that's it. If you need help with music or anything like that, hit me up. Not music, but music, business stuff, hit me up. If I can't help you, I know people who can.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks so much, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been great. Have a great night. Enjoy your dinner, and I'm sure I'll talk to
You
you on
too.
Threads or Instagram at some point. So,
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun, and I'll see you guys on the interwebs somewhere.
all right, and that's been our conversation with David Wilkerson. I hope you got a thing or two out of it. I know I definitely did. Make sure to drop him a follow and definitely get in touch if you want to learn more about turning your music into a career. With that, I've been Jeremy Abrams with Banditfox Studios. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.